Alright. It's the weekly number 126 or 127. I don't even know which number, but it's the Grand Finals. And we've got Solar in the bottom right, playing for his share of the 400 USD. And MaxPax, the number one Protoss in Europe, hailing from Denmark. MaxPax in the top left side here of Curious Minds. Already his probe getting a little bit antsy, and he has 4 Solar to take this third base, sticking out like a bit of a sore thumb. Now, I gotta say, historically, Solar was massively favored versus MaxPax for a long time. MaxPax would always get ahead and then die to like a Roachling Queen walk. Things have changed. Queens can't walk off creep. Or they can, but they can't transfuse off creep. Now, because so many Protoss players play Stargate versus Zerg into Oracles, the most underused thing right now is a Queen walk. A lot of people only have 1 or 2 Oracles in the sky, at most 3. If you walk 3 or 4 Queens across, even without transfuse, they tend to beat those Oracles with a bit of focus fire. So it's actually something where, especially on a small map like this, if you get a tumor here, spread it to there, you can actually walk over to that third base of the Protoss in no time. You get there so quick. Something which I'd love to see Solar start out the series with, because if you're going to punish your opponent and get some momentum and just go kill him early, that's such a good way to do it. These fast Roachling attacks are really good. Dark even did one on Berlingrad versus Trap, and he actually did it where basically he didn't even bother with the Queens. He just went with like 8 Roaches, just randomly arrived at the Protoss third at 5 minutes, and like a flood of Lings behind it. He just killed him, because it was such an oddball timing to do it. I think Dark screwed his build up that game, which is why he did it, because it was a bit of a desperation move. He got supply blocked a few times and was like, I guess I'm going all in. But it worked. It knocked a Protoss player out. Now, MaxPax wisely goes Twilight, so he doesn't want to give that opportunity. He says, look, yeah, on these small maps, that's way too dangerous. I don't know if any pros have been doing a hatchery cancel, but I do think that's the best version. If they build like a Void Ray to defend, as well as the Oracles, I think you bring a drone, you build a hatchery, you cancel it, put a tumor down, and then you've got creep outside their base to transfuse off. It's super cool. Look at that, guys, seeing the very early third gateway, but no robo. This is a great scout for Solar. Solar realizes, hey, this is a light glaive adept pressure. You might hit me with a crisp 6-7 adepts at 430 in my natural, or third base, so to speak. And there's no prism immediately behind it, though. So you're not warping in on the front line. It doesn't have the same oomph to it, right? Yes, now the robo goes down, but it's much later. So the warp prism won't be out until, and across the map until past the 5-minute mark. So on the other hand, though, he's going out to 6 gates. So Solar scouts what looks like a not that committed push. Now MaxPax, if he's going to sell this story, he needs to fake a third or fake at least taking this gas, one or the other here. See how it goes. 6 gate adept is a massive commitment. Roachhorn second gas is on the way. I mean, if I was Solar, I'd go third gas. He's going to stay on just 2 gases here, which it's enough to build a lot of Roaches. And he stops right on 40 workers, which is very respectful. As I said, some adepts could hit you at 430. It's only 4 adepts, though, that are threatening right now, because MaxPax is powered up into the prism, into all those other gates. And as I said, this is not that sharp a pressure. Solar could have got away with going to 45 workers earlier. You can see, though, he's really respected this. And he only now adds the drones to get to 45 and the lair. The problem is, though, will the next wave catch him off guard? This Overlord on the high ground is a legend. The Prism does come out here, but he's got a Zergling on the third. I feel like Solar has a lot of info. He's still droning, though. He's got to build a lot of Overlords and Roaches right now. More drones queuing up. Oh, he's only got 3 Roaches out. Oh, God, this is actually going to do big damage. Guys, that's 13 Adepts. 14 Adepts coming in. Uh-oh. Solar getting tricked by MaxPax. MaxPax actually mind gaming him. He says, hey, you scouted a light pressure. I'm going to turn it into a massive commitment. And your response, if you play intelligently here and respond to my scouting, you're going to have the wrong setup. And that's exactly what happened. Solar may have been a little too safe against the initial 4 Adepts, but he was super greedy afterwards by droning up. He's got a little squad of Roach Queen that is fighting quite well, but look at that. These Zerglings are going to get massacred. Not to mention those Adepts coming in on that third. Oh, so many drones starting to fall here. Now, he could do a bit of a better job of focus firing those, but look at this. Oh, this is where the damage comes in, man. 13, 14 drones have gone down. Adepts denying mining there, which means there's only 1 base mining right now, and that's about to come under attack by these 2 Adepts. 15 workers have gone down. There's a DT shrine behind us. No third base for MaxPax, so this is not game-ending damage, believe it or not. Not just yet. He needs a little bit more. If he can clear up the creep, that definitely helps. Oh, the Adepts looking for a Queen snipe. They don't get it. pick off a creep tumor. They're going to shade on in and just keep trading with the Zerglings. Bad trade for MaxPax. He gets surrounded. Not the best control. He's getting a little bit sloppy, and his transition seems half-baked, so I think this was an intuitive play. You can tell that his follow-up wasn't well planned. It's something that he's made up on the fly. As a result, it's hitting a little bit slow. The Adept shade out of there. I would have liked him to stay for 1 or 2 more drones. At this point, guys, he has done an immense 20 workers killed, and there is an Overseer morphing. Oh, he can kill that third, though, for sure. DT goes to the main, the natural, and the third. There's only one Overseer. It can't be everywhere at once. The DT is starting to do damage in there. You see, the drones tried to fight, but they pulled away. Transfuse. He's like, I can't lose my third. He gets a DT, but there's one in the main as well. Oh, no. The Dark Templar. Very delayed follow-up, but it's going to be an absolute killer. 13 drones going down. The DTs are going to come back in. They could snipe that base if they choose, or just pick off a few drones and then get out of there. 3 more drones go down. The DT in the main will finally fall, but 17 workers brings that up to 33 drones killed in total. The units lost tab dead even in terms of the resources lost, but this builds a worker lead. And with no roach speed upgrade, just a handful of roaches, queens, there's no counterattack. So Solar right now can't punish the fact that MaxPax has no units at home. He's able to slowly add immortals. Stalkers blink. He morphs an Arc on here. He's got a battery up in that third base. He's up 6 workers. And MaxPax gonna do a single Archon drop pressure here. Something that we've seen is a bit more vogue these days, isn't it? Bit more of the cool kids thing to do. They're like, yeah, single Archon, you know, if there's things to kill, it'll kill it. Doesn't cost as much as the double Archon. Just a small thing to micro and pressure, make the opponent react, pick off some Overlords, limit their vision. This Overlord on the pillar still shutting everything down, though. Or not shutting everything down, but seeing everything. Solar tries to build 3 more drones, so he's trying to get up to 62 workers, and from that, he's going to do nothing but build Roaches, Ravagers, and try to survive here. Zerglings mixed in would be very good at tanking versus the Immortals, but he doesn't really have a lot of luxury. He's just trying to build anything he can. A Queen does go down there. We've got 2 Adepts because we can shade into that base. Shoving the front is MaxPax right now. His Archon and more Stalkers coming in. Adepts in that third base do have a Roach fighting them. They should be able to start stacking up the kills. Nice Biles coming out. Immortals. Archon will go down here, it looks like. The Immortal Stalker having to pull back, dodge those Biles. The barriers, though, go off on the Immortals. There's only a handful of Ravagers. Guys, 5 Ravagers is not a Zerg army. Solar had those Adepts tearing up his mineral line at the same time. MaxPax takes game 1 of the Grand Finals. All right, let's go game 2. MaxPax down here says European supremacy reigns. Get out of here, silly boy. But I'm telling you what, guys, Solar is a beast in the top right of this map. I would love to see him do a Mutalisk style. I think Muta styles are so good. But MaxPax will most likely be playing Stargate here. And all those things about Queen Walks I said, they only really apply on Curious Minds and Berlingrad maps where the Protoss players usually don't play Stargate at the moment. So it's something where a lot of people don't know this. So on the ladder, they're just playing normal Stargate builds on those maps, and no Zergs on the ladder are punishing them with Queen Walks. They're like, oh, I don't see it in pro play. And I'm like, yeah, that's because the pros know they'll get killed if they go Stargate on those maps, man. So I think that's something you guys got to keep in mind. If you guys think for yourself a little bit about the meta, you're going to realize there's a lot of things that the pros have learned. They've tested on the ladder, they've tried it out, and they've stopped doing it because it's getting punished. But then people see how they're playing, and they just kind of apply it without really, you know, noticing those little details. If you guys think a little bit about it, you can definitely abuse people. You can take advantage of people if you have a good understanding of the meta and how to abuse the maps and that sort of thing. We've got the Nexus coming up. Cybercore does start there. Okay. So Nexus, Cybercore, 21 probe into the second gas, and then 1 more probe and then a second pylon. A rock solid standard play here for MaxPax. Where's he going to put that second pylon? Out there. Pretty easy for the Overlord to scout that, if you ask me. Probe doing a bit of harass, but Solar does defend pretty nicely. And Solar, yeah, good micro. Good micro by Solar. Just pulls the drone off that was getting blocked. And we should see a Stargate go down. Yep. Okay, Adept into Stargate. No chrono on the Adept at all, guys. This is the MaxPax special. You are about to see the greediest PvZ build you have ever seen. He does not even chrono his first adept. He's going to do so little pressure. Notice he's doing his second chrono on probes. I think he does a third chrono on probes even as well. I think he chronos both Nexi at once here. So he chronos that one, and then I think he chronos this, and then he waits for the next 50 set of energy when this hits 100 to chrono the Oracle. Okay, he's building a Stalker, which is expensive. And maybe he just puts another chrono into this Nexus because it's right next to the minerals. Let's see, we're going to do it? You know you want to, MaxPax. Okay, he's saving it for the Oracle this game. So he does want to double chrono the Oracle. So 0 adept pressure to start. His adept, of course, is just chilling guys, denying any Zergling scouts from coming in. Solar's Overlord will see everything, though. And this is what I have with the problem with the pylon out here. If you put the pylon here, Stargate here, that Overlord is going to have to sacrifice itself to go down. Now, as it is, I think it's deep enough the Stalker might just barely kill it. So, yeah, especially with this micro, MaxPax making sure he doesn't let the AI kind of waste time on that. I think it gets out, though. Just barely, right? It needs 2 more hits. 1 more hit. 7 hit points. I'm free. I'm never taking my life for granted ever again. Oh, my name. Oh, you know his tentacles? Like that one at the back, it's trying to do the middle finger. He's giving him the middle tentacle. Up yours. Zerglings, 2 Zerglings go down, but they force the Oracle to turn on its laser beam on the defense. He already has a very early 2 Spore setup. While going to 6 Queens, that's overly safe for Solar. So Solar's actually built those Spores and up to 6 Queens earlier than he needs to. If he loses more than 1 or 2 drones to the Oracles, he'll be rather upset because Solar's actually invested in these Spores earlier than he needed to, right? It's partially because he wants to just drone the 3rd straight away. So he's like, I want 3 Queens there, Queen in a Spore, and a Queen in a Spore. And that's like super solid on the D. But yeah, he's not going to take any damage, so he's very happy. 10 more drones on the way up against the Forge and the Twilight, guys. It's a greed arms race right now. This was 3rd. Nexus down at like 330. It's such a quick 3rd. I told you guys MaxPax was going to take a quick 3rd. He's also going to drop a 4th at about 5 minutes 20. So there should be a probe heading towards that 3rd. I think just after he starts +1 and Blink, he'll be heading for that. Now the Oracles do need to be careful in case Solar goes for a big attack in terms of like diving in. And ooh, does he tag on the way out? No, not yet. Adepts are threatening here. There's plenty of Zerglings though, so he's going to get 1 drone and no more. Good micro by Solar. Hides the Zerglings, only shows them at the last minute. Oracles can finally come in. Look at that Spore though. That was microed by Solar, I'm pretty sure, because it targeted the other Oracle, even though I think it was a fraction of a second behind. Nonetheless, does get 4 drones there, so good micro by MaxPax. And he has got 4 more gateways on the way. Now, his Oracles, I think he might recall those, otherwise he runs them out the left flank, because he doesn't have much vision. He's going to go for a second Forge. Oh, he's going to do the double upgrade style. Okay, this is a little different to what I was thinking. It's been a little while since I cast MaxPax PvZ. I didn't actually watch his games versus Serral yet, or the other Zergs in the EU region of Valencia regionals. 3 more drones go down. Solar's not actually planning an attack, so the more damage you can do, the better. MaxPax is going to go for the 6-minute 4th, so he doesn't end up taking that super fast 5-minute 24th. But nonetheless, dude, 6 minutes is still crazy early to be dropping a Nexus down on that 4th base. The hatchery, for your context, just started at 5:30 on the 4th. So the thing is, Zerg needs that just to produce out of, right? That's not even necessarily going to get probed up. Meanwhile, there is so much stuff that can come out now off this 6 gate. So it's double Forge off 6 gates, and it does go to 8 gateways before going for the 4th Nexus, which I think is a good safety precaution. So he's got Stalkers, he's got 2 sentries in there, which makes this army a bit less mobile. That Overseer does take damage though. Changeling does get caught there. You can see bottom half of a Zealot, top half of a bloody Zergy. Defending the rocks for now. 1-1 upgrades. I really feel like splash damage is the way to go, and that's what Hero's been doing off these fast 4th Blink styles. Oracle, Twilight Forge, get your +1, get your Blink. That's the way to do it. Now, MaxPax is saying, fuck that. The Zealot Stalker style is the way to do it. It's just you need double upgrades so it scales better. And that's fascinating. A lot of players have been getting ahead with this sort of Zealot Stalker pressure style. MaxPax is only at 73 workers, and he's only on 4 gases still. He gets a Queen, good blink backs, and that creates a bit of a choke point, but that's a lot of Roach Ravager, so he's got to leave. The sentries will go down here, and very well defended by Solar. Gets 3 Stalkers, 2 sentries. He only loses a Queen, a Roach, a couple Zerglings. He's got a much bigger army right now. Zealots are good versus Zerglings, but I always feel like if the Zerg, like every Korean Zerg, when they play against this opening, they always just stop on 3-base saturation and mass either Roach Ravager, like in this case, or Roach Hydra. And that's where I really feel Disruptors are just almost a free win against this style. Colossus can be really good as well. I don't know if MaxPax can defend this. He's got batteries coming in, cannons. He's only got, okay, he's got a few pylons as well. Stalkers are going to come forward. He's going to try and use that blink back micro. Battery overcharge will have to come down. And it does come down, but the Biles will take it out. It gets one shot, and his fourth has been overrun. It's just a good old Roach Max with 2 queens walking across the map to slowly deal with the oracles in case a Void Ray comes out as well. Very well played by Solar. He's just going to brick a cunt. And for those who don't understand, you know, some of you are used to a jousting match, a real gentleman's agreement in StarCraft. Solar is at his best when he just smacks greedy Protosses. They're like, meet me in the arena! And he's like, oh, what's that over there? And they're like, oh, a macro game. And then they turn around and there's all they see is their vision's blocked out 90% by a brick that is being picked up off the ground, half a brick, and is getting smashed into their skull. Solar is the master of simple, clean, overwhelming early mid-game timing attacks in this matchup. And he's done it again. He kills the third. I guess I was calling it the fourth before, but he kills the third because he chased the army in there. He's cleaning up these zealots. And he's going to clean this mineral line out as well. Now, if you can kill all these Roaches and Ravages, maybe there's a dream of a counterattack. You've got 2-1 upgrades versus just +1. The upgrades do seem nice, but you just don't have the critical mass of Stalkers. And so the double Forge style does get picked away. Solar just committing to a good old Roach Max. You know, Stefano called from 2011. He wants his builds back, Solar. MaxPax just doesn't have the critical damage. You need to have closer to even numbers when you're playing Stalkers. They just don't scale well enough. And those upgrades, a lot of them were still on the way when Solar hit. A beautiful attack timing. And he says, you are not going to be taking this easily, mate. This is going to be a much closer series than you expected. All right, we're going back to the Berlingrad. Back to a nice small map here. And very likely to be getting a aggressive Twilight opening from MaxPax in the bottom right. Got to do better about denying the scouting, though, I think, with this one. Not going to get that 3-gate pivot into 6-gate trick to work a second time. Solar in the top left. And a nice early probe does go out, so he wants to make sure he can block that expand. I feel like on this... No, I guess the rush distance is not that short on this map until you actually open up these minerals. Then it gets much shorter, so fair enough. Big thank you to Move. Thank you, mate. Guys, Dot is cooking some bloody Vindaloo chicken, I think, right now. And it is tickling my bloody nose. Oh my god. Mousetrap, thank you so much for the 2 gifted subs, yo. Sorry, I'm enjoying chat catch up with the quote unquote impersonation / accent. The quintessential American, what can I say? It's the simple things that gave me pleasure in this life, guys. It's the simple things. Alright, we got Nexus into Cybercore, the probe here as well. Alright, guys, so we got this one. For those who are watching, maybe this made it to YouTube, you're like, Pig, what are you talking about? I'm sorry, guys. I normally cast with 2 minutes delay on, and basically, if this is a banger of a series, makes its way over to YouTube. What ended up happening is we were just, people were, they're like, do an American voice. And when people kind of ask me to just do a voice, I basically do the worst possible impersonation or accent I can possibly muster up. And my best ones aren't good, by the way. There's actual talented people out there like Nathanias who are like impersonation gods. Maynard's pretty fantastic at times, depending on the accent. But I'm appalling normally. I speak words good. Anyway, guys, let's just talk about the series. Other than trolling Twitch chat, Twilight Council is on the way. We are seeing the Chrono and the Adept. Are we going to see a second Chrono to try and block the Scout, potentially? Yeah, Chrono the Stalker to try and block the Scout. And this Nexus is going to be chronoing its probes, right? Oh, are we not chronoing probes? You're saving that for the glaives, are you, son? That's very weird. Even with a sharp Twilight build, normally you'd be chronoing probes, but he might be hitting a very crisp opening. Does start a second gate on 250. Doesn't quite get the creep tumor. You know, you lose your shields, that's fine. So I say he, meaning MaxPax, of course. I would not talk about my lovely adepts, misgendering them or anything like that. Second gate, third gate, up, Glaives there. And he's actually, I think he chronoed Warp Gate, did he? Okay, we might see a very crisp 6 Adept Shade. So there's an old Neeb build, but he should have been building a third Adept if he was doing that. Yeah, we don't really see it much anymore, but there's a really cool build you can do. A 3-gate Glaive Pressure where you get 3 Adepts out, you double Chrono Warp Gate, I think it is, and then you warp in 3 more Adepts and you just shade them off, and you actually land in their third right on 4 minutes 20 with 6 or 7 Adepts with Glaives. Your Robo is super late behind it. And you know, it's not the smoothest follow-up, but it's much more bare bones in terms of investment. And you can imagine, guys, if you look at it at 420, unless they see you like moving out of the base and immediately respond, it can be hard for them to deal with. That being said, 4 queens, and he'd have 16 Zerglings by then. So I think Solar actually does respect that sort of move out. I really feel like the Zerglings here would be better off being drones, be a bit greedier, get some roaches out. Just you know, go straight to 43, 44 drones and then go roaches. Solar's playing the really conservative drone style. That's what got him into trouble on Curious Minds, is he goes really conservative, and then if it's not actually being committed to, he feels like, oh god, I need to drone up now. But he's building those drones later. So Solar's trying to cover every single base and play a rock solid style, because he's used to playing against guys like Zaun in Korea who do these 4 minutes 30, 10 Adepts shade into your third, you know, that 440 I think it is. That crazy Zaun timing where he cuts heaps of probes. MaxPax isn't doing that. He's going Robo Bay, third gas, all of this follow-up behind it. He's probably going to be looking for a third as well. 3 Ravagers are making... Oh, Solar's going for the Ravager Lings around. I did not realize that he was doing the 2-gas Ravager build. Oh, so he's going to try and surround the Adepts and bile them down. The Ravagers can kite the Adepts pretty well, but they will get stuck in this choke point. If those Adepts actually attack them there, they can do pretty well. Adepts do cancel. He's going to split off for a bit of a drippy droppy. I think the Lings just got a probe. No, they got a single Adept there. Or actually, no, they didn't. They just forced this Adept to shade backwards. Never mind. Damaged the Stalker a little as well. Adepts are there securing the third. We've got Warp Prism speed, Disruptors on the way. Solar's going to hold that drone key down. He says, hey, I pushed you back to your third. I'm rock solid. I'm feeling good. But he does need some units up in the main defending. He's breaking these rocks down, which will definitely help him out later. But right now, that main base, Queen, going to try and get some damage on the Prism. Slow down the amount of freedom this Prism has in the main base. Should be able to kill, yeah, 3 drones and then just leave. He's going to take a fair bit of damage on the Prism, though. Queen will get 1, 2 hits in. Beyond the actual shields, it's going to have to regen for a little bit. Now, Adepts and Disruptors, very easy to defend any sort of Ravager Ling pressure. The Ravagers are poking around. I don't know if they're looking for the Observer. The way those, or maybe he's just looking to intercept Adepts early on before they get to his base. Either way, good moves. Blink is there. Warp Prism speed. We've got a Forge coming up. Third base coming in. More Adepts morphing. Oh, he's going to put... Oh, guys! Guys, it's the teabag. He's going to do the droppy drop build, so he's going to shade in and drop the balls at the same time. A very cute build. He's going into blink and upgrades behind it, but this is a pretty committed assault, and it's been quite greedy for Solar. He doesn't have that many roaches, does he? One big ball on those Ravagers could be game-ending. This is huge. The Adepts are going to try and shade in right now. Notice he drops the balls, but doesn't actually fire yet. He's trying to be very patient. Oh, he gets a Ravager and a handful of Lings. Oh, a great second Disruptor shot there, and cancel the shade and get out. Cancel the shade and run away. Good, cancel the shade. And he's just going to try and warp in some Stalkers, but he's like, I don't want to get biled down. Good pullback. Ling run by does go in. Stalkers should be able to hold on to the natural as the Adepts do fight their way out. Good trades here for the Adepts. Zerglings backing off from that. They don't want to throw their lives away. Queen, though. Oh, where's the ball? Great ball. That's a Queen kill. Another one very damaged. And this is just great usage of these early game Adepts. Getting Ravager pickoffs. Fantastic trades for MaxPax. Look at that, guys. About 2.5 to 1 in the tradies. He is feeling fantastic. Up to 8 gateways behind it. He's going Stalker Sentry. He's building an Immortal and upgrades. Mutas are building. Solar did squeeze a Spire in behind this. That could cause MaxPax some trouble. And this is a very good surround. Does bile a few of his own Zerglings. Disruptors get only a single roach there. One more ball comes out, though. Oh, Solar! Losing a Ravager and 2 more roaches. Now, this Observer, if it can see these Mutas pop, that would be huge, but it's a bit too far back. Oh, he's going to go forward. He's going to go forward. He's going to see it. MaxPax, let's go to MaxPax vision, guys. We're on MaxPax vision. He's taking a fourth. He's flying around. He sees it. He sees the muta. Dude, he just saw a muta. He's trying to build cannons. Run that prism home. Okay, the prism does turn around. He's building cannons now. Solar does not know it's been spotted. That's the problem for Solar. Solar's like, yep, massing mutas in secret. Hoo 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 hoo. Little does he know that MaxPax is aware of what's going on. Solar is pretty low on economy. MaxPax is pretty high, but because of the muta threat, MaxPax feels like he needs to attack. And I think Solar has enough to defend it. It's going to be a close fight. See how it goes. Mutalisk and Overseer, a few Zergans get caught on the way across the map. Stalker's trying to warp in over at the third base. Uh-oh. Those Stalkers are going to get taken out real quickly. Roachling coming in, going in with some Adepts of his own. Those Adepts are going to do good damage. His own army shoving in. Both sides are in chaos right now. He might need to build some battery cannon in his main and natural to try and win the basey tradey. Disruptor Drop might be wanting to come in here to help out as well. Both sides are taking so many losses. The Stalker's trying to warp in. The cannon is going to get some damage. He's going to do a recall. Okay, so he's like, look, I'm doing enough damage. If I can just defend now and clean this up, I'll be in a good spot. Gets 4 roaches there with the disruptor shot. The mutas get pushed back. Third base survives. Guess what? 15 drones went down. He didn't kill any hatcheries though, but these are depths in the base. I think that's where most of his damage came from. 16 drones. So both sides are locked in a pretty low economy brawl. There's 17 mutas. There's only 6 stalkers alive. That's actually... And the Cybercore died. Oh, that's game. That's game, guys. Solar wins. Because he's on 20 mutas versus 6 stalkers, and extra stalkers can't be built. Apparently there was no probes on this Nexus yet. The 4th base was a bit too greedy, man. And Solar, this is Solar's playing my style of a ZVP. I've been having a lot of success with this Korean style, where you're happy to stay low on economy as long as you're hitting the right timings with your units and your tech switches. You're happy to stay on 3 base because the Protoss players are a bit obsessed with their 4th bases and that sort of stuff. And cannon plus probes should be able to defend here, but it's a little dicey. Stalker's coming forward. 3rd base will get ransacked. Any probe going down is a disaster. It's down below 40 workers, and there's just not enough things that shoot up. Stalkers do go forwards there, trying to do what they can. And the Disruptors will hold off the ground army, but there's just not enough Stalkers. GG, very well played by Solar. I said I wanted to see mutas on Glittering Ashes. He says, fuck it, Roach Max. I'll play the mutas on the small map where you least expect it. And I do think MaxPax actually needed to turtle up in this game. It's a hard call, turtling with Stalkers versus mutas, because you give them the freedom to mass the muta count. But because he had the 4th base, his push timing was not strong enough. Very well played by Solar. Finds the weakening. The weak spot. It ain't over yet. I just ate another banana and my name is MaxPax. These are definitely words he said to me. I'm definitely not just inventing this, guys. MaxPax about to go full banana man. Representing a Psystorm. Kaiser Gaming Solar in the bottom left side. And once again, he wants to block that expand. Definitely something that irritates me as a Zerg. But we're more and more used to it these days. And I do sometimes wonder what's better. Because so many players are so used to it now. And we are seeing more of the European players, MaxPax, not MaxPax being excluded, basically just not go for the block on the base. They're like, yeah, I'd rather just have that probe mining minerals this whole early game and see what happens. Now, for those who are wondering, right, there's people in chat saying, MaxPax had a weird response, even with the scout and the mutas. Like, what was he doing? So normally, if you don't have a Stargate, right, you can't react with Phoenix. If he had a Stargate, he'd probably start chronoing Phoenix, build a second Stargate, and he'd just turtle up and try to get his Phoenix up because they hard counter the mutas, right? And then if they've got to build Corruptors to deal with the Phoenix, they end up with this really clunky air army that if you then add like Archons on the ground backing up your Phoenix and maybe some Void Rays, like you just end up with an army that hard counters everything they have, right? So MaxPax was doing what a lot of Blink Stalker players do. They say, okay, you're going into mutas. Mutas aren't good in a frontal fight. I'm going to push into you and force you to use those mutas just to stay alive, and force you to also make Ravages, invest your gas in that. And yeah, essentially it forces you to fight in one spot in a front-on fight. And it takes the strength away from the mutas, because the muta strength is their mobility. It's their ability to backstab, dive around. But if you hit, as the mutas are kind of popping out, you force the Zerg to use them as a defensive unit. They're not getting to use their strength, which is bouncing into a mineral line, killing 10 probes. Stalkers come back, bounce into another mineral line, kill another 10 probes. You know, it's their ability to pull a Protoss player around with that mobility that's so huge. So it's common to attack into it. Now, the reason why it didn't work in that scenario is obviously MaxPax didn't have that many Stalkers yet, and he'd taken a very quick 4th base against a Solar who was only on 63 drones. So Solar was pretty far behind in the long game if it went there. But because MaxPax went aggressive, he did present exactly what Solar needed, and that's a chance to just cripple MaxPax before that 4th base was able to get up and working. So very decisive, shoved through the middle of the map. He avoided fighting that army head on as well, which was a very clever move for Solar. Kind of went past it and went for the mineral lines. It was good stuff. Stargate's going to be coming up. Overlord's here, so the Stalker will be able to deflect it. It's been that very economic build once again. Except this time, guys, he did actually... No. Okay, same as last time. He will do double chrono on the Oracles once again. Very rare to see triple Oracle these days. Now, I would like to see the Spores and whatnot get very delayed this time around for Solar. I think that would be really good, because remember last time he went 6 Queens and he went a Spore in each base at 335, which is super early. I don't mind 335 here in the main, but you don't need to get it that early otherwise. Now the Overlord's going to try and hide. Very cute. It's going to get out of there. Nice save by Solar. Stalker comes back, not going to be able to kill it. Spore goes down in the 3rd base. There we go. So both Spores are down very early, and the Overlord once again really escapes. Solar... Oh, he's just going to get... And the Stalker's going to see if it can kill it, but it's not going to be able to get it. I think that Overlord's perfectly positioned. Well played. Now, the natural is the one weak spot. You are meant to build a Spore there with your first drone, or have your Queens there. Solar loses a drone. Good start here for MaxPax. Double gas goes down after the 3rd base. This is the 2nd Oracle getting chronoed. Of course, this was once again a very quick 3rd. Down about 340 this time. Adept plus Oracle can easily defend that. And, oh, the Adept. She's kind of taunting those Zerglings a little bit. Look at that saturation, guys. 4 minutes 30 and already 3 mineral lines full. 16 workers, and 14 workers. 2nd Stargated Fleet Beacon. Wow. I saw, was it Skillis tried to do this the other week? Skillis. But man, or Goblin actually, sorry, not Skillis. Sometimes I get those two confused because they came up around the same time. Oh no, MaxPax loses an Oracle. He gets 4 drones. Oh, he loses both Oracles? Nasty. Oh dude, I think this might be a 3-1 Grand Finals. Losing your Oracles is terrible, because now Solar doesn't have to worry about anything and he can just scout. And he's going to see the double gas and immediately drop a Spire. Watch this, guys. The Lair's going to finish, and he's going to drop a Spire. We're on Solar's camera right now. He's got a 4th down about 520. Putting guys on his 6 gases. Sees the Lair finish. Spire's going to go down right now. Yeah, immediately. Immediately, Solar drops the Spire. I mean, why wouldn't you? You've seen 6 gas. You know he's not doing a 4 gas push. It's a good chance it's a Stargate opening. Oh, man. Solar's so far ahead now. This is looking rough for him. MaxPax, of course, has come off beating Serral earlier today. You got to remember, though, it's a very big difference between Serral and these Korean Zergs. Serral is a controlling Zerg who's incredibly cautious at times. Solar, on the other hand, really likes to get a hard read on what you're doing and counter you so well. Adepts come in, they get 3 workers, not bad. Nice micro from MaxPax. Does kill a bunch of Zerglings as well, and he'll get 1. Nope, doesn't quite get that. Carriers will clean up the Overseer here. But having lost those Oracles, it's very rough. The Carriers aren't going to do shit. He's already putting a 3rd and 4th carrier, and he's adding charge behind it and a +1 attack. None of this is going to get him back in this game. I mean, the AK charge is cute, but if Solar just builds enough Roach Ravager, he should be able to overwhelm. There's no way you get a 4th base up here. Supply blocked as well. Robo Bay does go down, which is going to be good. Definitely getting out disruptors can bring you back. No pylons building. Hello? No pylons building, guys. And the Zerglings are just picking off these workers. 10 corruptors are already on the way. Still no pylons building. MaxPax! MaxPax! He starts a pylon now. He's been supply blocked for a good 30 seconds. Ooh, and it feels like Solar, after a rough game 1 and a close game 2, has found the weak spot of MaxPax. Really just doing so well now. You do see these corruptors. I like the focus fire on the drones. I think that's a really good way of doing it, and he just needs to recall right now. Recall right now. Recall! Great recall. And barely takes any damage. I mean, he takes about actually 90 hit points, a bit more than I thought. But those carriers are dead. The corruptors can just dive on them. There's nothing that shoots up except one stalker. Carriers should be hiding in the very back of the base right now. He leaves them at the front. They're dead. There's no way. Where's the battery overcharge? Oh, he doesn't have Nexus energy because he's been chronoing so hard, so he can't even overcharge. He doesn't quite have 2 High Templar for an Archon either. Oh, no. MaxPax losing 2 carriers there. Oof. Oh. Those carriers should have been hiding further back, man. Now he's got an Archon up. Solar unzips his fly and says, excuse me, you don't have a permit to build here. MaxPax is like, what? And the punishment is pissing on it? Are you serious? What kind of police officer are you? Solar says, I'm part of the Zerg police. And I'm here to take you down. To downtown. MaxPax is like, I don't even know what that means. You're fucking weird, man. You know what? One carrier survives. He's got disruptors. But there's a hive already finished. Melee on the way. Ultras would be an easy win from here. Do you reckon he goes Ultras or Broods? I don't know, guys. I think he might play Broods, but Ultras would be free win. You go Ultra Viper, Blinding Clouds, or Ultra Infestor even. There are more carriers building. Guys, Solar has thrown games versus Mass Air before. It could happen again. Great Aspire is on the way. This is not a full swap to ground. MaxPax is still including a handful of carriers, which is going to make it kind of complicated. Countering this army is not simple. He's only got 1 Evo chamber. He's building spines right now. Why is he building spines? I guess just to deal with Zealot run bys when he does his big all-in on the front, but definitely an odd choice here. Solar does decide to go into what appears to be Ravager, Lingbane, Corruptor, Broodlord. And I think he'll want to try and finish off, but man, MaxPax is going to be able to max. If MaxPax can get Storm, that would be huge. I feel like Storm would be such a game changer because it hits Broodlords and Corruptors. It also will hit those ground units as well. He sees that there's more carriers building. Oh man, MaxPax. Is he actually going to survive to late game? Dude, if MaxPax makes the comeback here and brings it back, it'd be incredible. Seven Broodlords are on the way. Still droning and building spawns. It feels like Solar doesn't have an attack timing in mind, guys. He's building static everywhere. But he's also not going spellcasters. What's he doing? When I get confused, I'll get a bit British. Apologies to any late night UKers over there. Oh shit, it is actually a timing. He is actually still doing the old school 10:30 timing. Broodlords are out though. Oh, Solar read this like a book. He knew exactly what was coming. I did not realize it was going to be that 10-minute timing, guys. I don't think it's going to work. MaxPax defended. He does Zealot run bys on both. Okay, so now we see Solar knew exactly what was going to happen in this game. Blink is on the way. More Stargates, more upgrades, more carriers. I want to see Storm. If he doesn't go Storm, I think he's going to be way behind. Spellcasters are now starting. 1 Viper, 2nd Spire, Pathogen Gland. So Solar's playing for mega late game. Jellyfish crew, let's go! Hey, this is the wrong neighborhood for your kind. Get out of here. No dirty Protoss around here, you piece of shit. The Warp Prism does go down there. Says I'm not a piece of shit, but does die despite that. Zealot's getting overrun by roaches there. Army's going to try and find a way in, but it's not really able to find much. Okay, it does get a queen. And 1 more queen goes down, but loses some disruptors for it. Get out of there, bro. MaxPax, you're gonna get jumped on, son. Oh, it's recall time, boy. You just threw all your bowls away. Okay, doesn't recall. He's going 4 more carriers, so he's gonna go 10 carriers, but no Psystorm. This doesn't make sense. 10 carriers is way too many to not have Psystorm. I mean, there's not many Corruptors, so don't get me wrong. If he doesn't realize you're massing carriers, it could work. But I really feel like MaxPax has to get that Storm up. Right now, he's trying to do it with a bit more of an A-move army and catch him with the timings and whatnot, but Hasn't been able to do it. Zerglings get deflected. New Warp Prism on the left side of the map is there. I am really happy, by the way, that Solar's back in form. He had the last few months of Solar's ZVP in the weekly cups has been uninspiring. I think he was doing really well, and a few months before Katowice, I feel like he fell off really hard in the matchup. Lost some confidence. Recently doing really well. I do think Ultras would have been a great way to finish this game, by the way, and he did kind of miss that window. I mean, the Zealot Archon style army that MaxPax, I still feel like Ultras would have been a great way to play, but there are problems with Ultras. They aren't the most solid thing. It's more of a timing attack. Ooh, Ravager's Spine on the left will defend these Zealots. Meanwhile, on the right side, Archon, he's just trying to land Archon hits on the Corruptors. That's his whole thing. He's like, I'm just going to focus your Broods down with the Carriers, and then the Archons are going to kill everything. Nice, abduct! Oh, one Viper goes down, and he focuses the other Viper down. Oh man, where's the Corruptor focus fire on that? Finally gets rid of it. Meanwhile, Warp Prism gets chased off. There is one Jellyfish on the left side, keeping them back. More carriers coming in right now. Oh, goodbye, Corruptor. Got to be careful. +1 attack is done for the air. But he's got 2 Spires. He needs to keep those upgrades going to Solar. And he's got to grow that Corruptor count. With how many carriers there are, still no Psystorm. MaxPax apparently is like, no, I can do this with just Mass Carrier and some Archons underneath. Cannon battery is not up. These Roaches are going to find some easy cancels on the left side of the map. You've only got 10 supply free. You might have to recall to defend that. MaxPax pulling back. He's going to lose an Archon or 2 here. Watch out for the Abductees. Infestors land a nice Fungal. Corruptors, though, there's not enough of them, I don't think. There's only 15 Corruptors, but they get 1 carrier, they get 2. Ooh, okay. He's actually doing all right with these Corruptors, isn't he? He's going to clear that top left base as well. Warp Prism tries to get by over there, but it is, of course, intercepted by that one Corruptor. I mean, MaxPax is not taking good trades right now. He's actually losing pretty badly in these trades. He's going to lose that pylon there as well. He's going to have to recall the carriers. I mean, I guess I called that earlier. I said he might have to recall. The Prism gets a Zealot Warp in off, but the Zerglings do have +2 and Adrenal Glands, so they should be, well, not terrible versus the Zealots, but not great either. Zealots are 2-shotting them. Zealot's going to take out a Ravager as well. Man, Zealots are such a sick unit against low-tier units that aren't microed against them. Very, very awesome. Let's add some Banelings, add some micro, anything like that. They don't look so good. Still, Archon carrier focus. No Psystorm. I'd love a little bit of Psystorm. A little bit of feedback in there. MaxPax playing a very meaty army. Solar has been ahead a few thousand in the resources lost. Carriers will clean this up. But these are very important for slowing him down. Random Hell Muffin! What are you doing? She throws her babies in. She says, well, at least I went into battle with them, right? Abatha might be a sicko, but we've managed to do it. +2 air attack, +2 armor. We've got the ultra upgrades, 3-2 upgrades on the melee carapace as well. So awesome upgrades coming in. +3 attacks done for the carriers. It's an 11 carrier, 5 Archon, +3 timing. And he's just going to try and warp like 30 Zealots in the main at the same time. YOLO, says the Prism. There's no Corruptor on the left side anymore. The Prism will pull back for now. There's 2 Prisms. He's like, yep, let's do it. Let's do it. You can't stop both of us from warping in. A single Corruptor, a pack of Zerglings. Going to be going up there. A few Zealots warp in. The Broodlords just need to shift-click the carriers need to shift-click the Broods, guys. If they can get that off, then this is a huge problem for Solar, right? Because if the carriers clear the Broodlords, that's when the Archons become so powerful. One Prism goes down. The other Prism slowly getting jellyfished. Offensive recall on the right side. Very cute. Infestor lands a nice little Fungal. These Spines will go down, as will the Hatchery very quickly. But, oh man, that Fungal was brutal. Oh, some sick Fungals there for Solar. Doing some nice damage. And the Broodlords. You see the Broodlord focus fire, guys. The Broodlords are gone. But are there any Archons left? No, there are not. The Spines and the Broodlords have done their work. MaxPax trying to recall home. Oh man, he's trying to batter Solar down, but he's not finding a way through just yet. This Prism does get out of there. There is still 1 Jellyfish left in the main base. 2-1 upgrades there, but the upgrades are continuing for both sides, to be fair. No ground armor or plasma shields upgrades past +1 though. And Corruptor's coming forward. Ling Ultra on that left side as well. The Archon carrier can deal with this. There's almost as many carriers as there are Corruptors, but that base is going to be forfeit. Look at this. Hunting around. Oh, Jellyfish! Jellyfish rule! Jellyfish. I don't even know, man. Prism goes down there. Dude, I feel like Solar is just playing such a sick game of StarCraft. I'm so impressed. But despite that, he doesn't have bank, and I think it's because, remember, he did lose a crazy amount of static. Each time these attacks come in, like, you think of it as kind of free stuff, but Solar doesn't really have a bank, and I'm worried for him because I feel like he's outplayed MaxPax in this game so far. But MaxPax has 14 carriers and 9 Archons. This is such a simple army, but there's only one Broodlord. There's 4 Ultras. They'll do pretty well versus the Archons, but that's 10 Archons altogether. Dude, it's a lot of Archons. Banes are going to massacre that base in the top left. They won't be able to kill the whole thing. They'll definitely clear about 10, 12 workers from it. This is a super max from MaxPax, guys. He doesn't want more workers. He just wants to go. The Archon's coming in. Here come the Infestors. Oh, the Infestors do get a few Neurals off a Parasitic Bomb as well. The Archons, are they going to get some big volleys off on the Corruptors? They get a few hits off. Is that enough, though? The Interceptors, he tries to dive the Corruptors on the Parasitic Bomb carriers, but he doesn't dive them early enough, guys. I want to show you what just happened. Solar, GG's. MaxPax takes him out. So he wanted to dive on top, but he needed to get the Corruptors on top of those immediately. Notice how there's 20 more army supply. Losing all those workers, MaxPax phased his workers out to have more army. He sends some Zealots in the right side as well, so he is doing some damage there. And notice how the Viper gets a Parasitic Bomb off, but the Corruptors weren't diving quickly enough. And they stop on top of the Archons, which is really bad, because then the Archons focus fire them. And by the time they move on top of the carriers, Parasitic Bomb's worn off. So they only get 1 or 2 ticks of damage onto these Interceptors, and that's it. Well, that game started off like utter shit. He lost his 2 Oracles, he lost 2 of his first 4 carriers, yet he somehow got a 4th up. And he turtled it out, and he did very well with that late game style. I do think his opponent could have taken him out with some earlier aggression. But very nice play there from MaxPax. His opponent in the top right, Kaiser Gaming Solar. Now, for those who don't know, that style seems so oppressive. Disruptors counter your Queens and Infestors. And you've got, obviously, like, what do you do? What do you do? Because you just got Archons counter everything. They shoot up, they shoot down, they kill Zerglings, Banelings. They do okay versus Roaches and Ravagers. You got Carriers, which are only weak to Corruptors, but the Corruptors are weak to the Archons. How do you beat that style? Well, a few big ways, guys. Number 1, Ultra attack move, because Carriers do not kill them very quickly at all. And you basically just kill the Archons with Ultras. You have equal supply Ultras to Archons, and you try to move on top with your Corruptors while dropping Parasitic Bomb on those Carriers so that they friendly fire themselves. Now, don't get me wrong, you'll take some Archon Splash there as well, but you'd be surprised how well you can do with that sort of fight. And with that style, you can also be crashing Lings, Banes, Ultras into the Protoss expansions, taking small fights here and there because Ultras, Lings, such mobile units. So I immediately was like, hey, he's gone Carriers, now he's going Zealot Archon. What counters all of this is Ultras. I've been talking about Ultras for a long time. People are like, Pigs, stop talking about Ultras. It's not good. If it was good, pros would do it. Guys, you clearly have not watched StarCraft for long enough at a high enough level. Because let's be real, there's been shit that's been broken in StarCraft, and usually it takes 6 months to a year and a half, sometimes 2 years before pros start using it. Even when it's broken, and there's a few people in the community going, this is so good. People should do this all the time. Pros take a long time to adapt and pick that stuff up. And right now, I want to take all you bastards who are hating on the Ultra, and I want to show you. Go watch. Honestly, I think Dark, like a year and a half ago, was actually doing a lot of Ultras. He was doing it in a very specific Dark way, but I'm telling you, if there's one guy who made beating the Skytoss style simple, how many games did he do it with just Ultras and Corruptors? It was actually crazy. He'd just dive in and just shift-click the carriers with the Corruptors and A-move Ultras, and he beat so many top players. Like Trap and a few of the best Protoss figured out how to basically turtle up and not let the Ultras get enough surface area and just look for the perfect fight, but it took such expertise from the man. All right, guys, what do we got? Oracle is there as well. Big thank you, Clava, with the big 666 50 cheer. We've also got a big 71-month resub from Fear Dragon. Thanks, gang. Oh my. 666, evil. Oracles are coming out, guys. Solar's done a pretty standard opening once again. He's really not mixing it up that much, and he doesn't need to. The Overlord, man, dude. The Overlord survival rate for Solar, guys, find someone out there who treats you like Solar treats his Overlords. Caressing, loving hand, caring for your health. Ooh, hello. Very cheeky. Sneaks in. The Oracle will be able to take those out, but looks like... Oh, he's got a diagonal wall off, no wonder. Man, that's the sort of wall off you run 30 Zerglings at and win the game. He's going to thicken the choke point now. I would have built the gateway there, I think, but fair enough. Spore Crawler in both bases is up for Solar. 2 queens on the third. Does Solar hotkey his queen separately, by the way? He's got Army Group 1, and then he's also got 0. But it's the same group. Oh, no, it's 2 separate groups. Okay. One of them is injecting queens, and the other one's is fighting queens. Yep. He's got 9 Zerglings out as well right now. MaxPax, on the other hand, he's got his 2 Oracles roaming. They'd like to get some damage. Haven't killed anything just yet. The third base is up. He's doing second Stargate Fleet Beacon again. Oh, this is terrible. Wait! Oh, the Overlord could have scouted it, but it turns around. He goes, yeah. You're not building anything out of the Stargate. Therefore, you're not playing a Stargate style. Oh, no. Solar might actually have a misread. Hopefully, he morphs an Overseer as soon as the lair's done and scouts that. Because I think MaxPax is like, hey, that works surprisingly well. Let's do it. Bring it back old school, baby. Oh, Solar's Overlord clicked home, which means that could easily get spotted and killed. He does still have one there, though. Dude, if he makes an Overseer and sees this early, he's in such a good spot. Carriers are about to start up. Remember, carriers are very expensive, guys. 350 minerals, 250 gas. They ain't cheap. Ooh-wee. Oracles get 2 drones and then pull back. 2 Adepts coming in from the left side. There are still Zerglings, and they are nearby breaking the rocks down. Solar, though, hasn't noticed it. Uh-oh. And there we go. 2 drones go down. Bit of mining time as well. Gets a 3rd one. Oh, and a 4th one. Not bad. 6 drones in total. And the Overseer comes in, guys. It hasn't seen what's up just yet, but he will see it with at least a little bit of warning. Very good scouting, and he's got a quick spire once more. I guess he already saw the gas on the 3rd, which is probably all he really needed to know. Forge Twilight after the Robo coming down. This is the follow-up that MaxPax did last time. He's already building extra carriers, and that Overseer will get shot down pretty quickly by those Interceptors. For those who don't know, Interceptors do 2 times 8 damage a shot. Now, Microbial Shroud is very powerful, and that's because it reduces half of the damage after, before armor affects it. So if you're doing 8 damage with an Interceptor, it goes down to 4, and then it's hitting a 2 armored target, like a Queen with +1 upgrade, and you're only doing 2 damage a hit with those. So that's why Microbial Shroud can be really good against the Interceptors, because it kind of calculates at an awkward point. Ooh, 3 more drones. I mean, good worker damage, but I think Solar knows what's going on anyway. So I don't know if he's really under any threat. 4th base is going down again, though. Being forced into Corruptors does make it feel like you can't cancel this 4th. That's one of the main advantages, I guess, of this build. He's going to try and focus an Evo Chamber down. Corruptors are coming. If he can kill a Queen or 2, that would be great, but he's not going to be able to. Recall, buddy. Recall, buddy. Get out of there. Oracles kill 3 drones. The Corruptors not going in just yet. Recalls doesn't take any damage yet. Okay, remember last time he lost his carriers to these first Corruptors running in. Templar Archives is not quite ready. He needs the Arc on the ground to keep himself alive. Revelation, and remember, he lost both Oracles last game. He loses them now, but much later, and he's killed 13 drones. So I think he's doing okay. He's got a cannon on the way. He's going to morph in his first Arc on, and that keeps him safe from those Corruptors just straight up diving. Oh! I never thought of doing that. Guys, he's going to pee on the rocks. Dude, imagine being in that sauna. Oh, God. Never go to the sauna with Solar, guys. He's the sicko who goes and pisses on the rocks in the sauna. Imagine that smell. Oh, that'd be so bad. Oh, damn. Like, you guys know when you pee in the shower and it smells like way worse. It amplifies it, man. In a sauna, that'd be terrible. Anyway, guys, Roachling coming in as well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Corruptors. A couple of Archon shots, but only on the edge Corruptors, not in the middle of them. Big Queen Ravager Corruptor walk, guys. But there's Disruptors out. Disruptors beat this all in. Solar's trying to brick him, but it ain't going to work, man. There's Cannon Battery there. He's got extra Cannon Battery coming up over here. Oh, this is not going to work. There's no way. Solar's trying to drop some creep out of the Overlords and march on this base, but MaxPax, even though he's not maxed, with the second Disruptor out, I don't think there's any way, dude. Okay, the Archons are there. They're going to get some good hits on the Corruptor. Oh my god, just one hit on those Corruptors. Ooh, and a very juicy ball to start things out. Another juicy ball landing. Oh no. Oh no, and the Corruptors, they managed to finally get one carrier, but that's it, dude. I don't think they're going to kill any more than that. Maybe because the battery's not healing it, it's healing the Archons. Oh, but they only kill one carrier? Oh no, Solar completely triggered after the previous game. And MaxPax is like, oh yeah, by the way, you can still do the carrier Archon Zealot Disruptor style. Oh my god. Oh, I'm not happy that this was the play that Solar went for, because I don't think this works that well versus it. But man, the amount of stuff, 75 probes, 4 bases, cannon battery everywhere. I do think you've got to counter his units. And I think, once again, I think Ultra Corruptor's the way. I know people are going to shit on me for that. I think, you know, if you could do some Bane run buys, that's great. But really, if you could just tech up to Ultras, 90 worker Ultra, I think you can do it. I don't know, man. Max is out so quickly. If he just goes triple Robo Immortal in response to that, is it really the play, Pig? Is it really? I have no idea. I just know that Solar is triggered right now, guys. Completely triggered. Oof, that hurts.